Previously on the Donalds.
Well, say goodbye to land for the next 8 days. Bye, land.
And there it was, beautiful Funchal, Madeira.
We made land.
I hope I can walk. So we're going to go on an excursion now, so there'll probably be another video with our excursion.
Hi, we're David and Mark. Come along with us today as we take you on our Virgin Voyages Shore Things excursion in beautiful Madeira. After having crossed the Atlantic from Miami, we arrived into Funchal slightly later than planned. So our full Monte Extravaganza Shore Things excursion started slightly later than anticipated. Even though we're very aware that you can probably do this excursion cheaper elsewhere, we always like to book our excursions directly through Virgin. It gives you the peace of mind that if anything were to happen and you were late back to the ship, they'll wait for you, and that would be especially important today with the later start. First things first, we headed towards our meeting point with drink in hand, and on the way, we readied our now confident sea legs for land.
What is this?
Oh, it does feel strange.
It does feel odd.
What have you got?
They've given us these bottles, a bottle of water. Bottle of water. Which I wasn't expecting, which is nice. Some sort of pH thing.
I guess it's the bottle that's purple.
I'm assuming so, yeah.
Yes or no? I just paid $10.
Our first stop on the trip was this beautiful park only a few minutes on the bus from the port. Here our guide told us all about the native flora and fauna that was on display. And we also got some fantastic views of Scarlet Lady in the distance.
This tree is called the pepper tree, and it smells like peppers. You're welcome. Is it a lizard or is it a leaf?
It's lots of lizards! It's like Jurassic Park.
Here we have the native bin bag covering something. It looks quite phallic. It is common amongst the Funchalians. I'm carrying you.
I don't know if that's anywhere near it.
He looks insane. So we're currently at the farmer's market and we are on the hunt for the fruit of a monstera because we've never tried it. I see it.
How do you eat it though?
Well, she says that you can't peel it, you have to just wait for it to drop apart.
So we've just been on the search for the mysterious monstera fruit that apparently tastes like a cross between a banana and a pineapple. So we wanted to try it.
We did, but sadly we can't because, I mean, this is probably very boring, but interesting fact.
You can't
peel them, so they're green and you have to wait for them to basically drop. And that can take a few days, and we can't take it back on the ship.
No.
So,
and we've asked our tour guide, and she's asked a few of the stalls, and they've said that they only have the unripened stuff. So no fruit for us.
just pretend.
Oh, it's like a banana and a pineapple. So we stopped at a local cafe and got what's it called? Pasta de nata.
Something like that.
It's a custard tart. I've never had one of these before. They're famous in Portugal, and Madeira is. I was going to say it's autonomous but funded by the Portuguese government, so I'm going to see what it's like. Oh, it's a bit nice.
I'm surprised how crispy the pastry is.
You've got none of it in your teeth.
Do I not? Oh, no, that is really good.
So I have had one of these before, but it's a long time ago. I can't really remember. It's so nice. It's like a sweet egg custard,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's lovely.
Delicious. After scoffing those delicious treats, we continued to have a wander around the market, taking in the sights and sounds and having a wee, of course, before heading to meet with a tour guide for the next part of the trip. He's waiting to cross the road, bless him. A very short walk from the market is one of the oldest and most colourful streets in Funchal. It's a super narrow street dating back to the 1400s, but it's become popular recently with tourists due to its painted doors. The road is also lined with loads of restaurants and cafes and has a really lovely atmosphere. David, tell us where we're heading.
We are now heading to the trip up the mountain.
As you could kind of hear there, next on the agenda was our trip on the cable car. As is always the way with these tourist things, the queue was pretty big, but it moved fairly fast, and before we knew it, it was our turn to take the 15-minute trip up to Monte. Typically, the weather where we were heading was looking pretty awful, but as you can see, even though the endpoint is pretty high up in the mountains, you're never really that far from the ground in the cable car, so if you are scared of heights, that might be something to keep in mind. Your reward if you do brave it is some fantastic views of the ship. As soon as we stepped off the cable car, of course it started to rain, but being this high up gave us some lovely views of Scarlet Lady, and after a short walk, literally about a minute, we came to our next stop, which was the Monte Palace Tropical Gardens. I guess in hindsight, the rain actually added to the beauty and atmosphere of this place. However, it did make some of us go a little loopy. What a slag. The gardens themselves stretch on forever, and they descend down the hill until you get to a pool at the bottom. This means that they aren't very accessible, and you'll be crossing across a series of bridges, stepping stones, as well as lots of steps, so you need to be quite steady on your feet, especially if you're visiting on a wet day. And here's David, with the help of the others, demonstrating just how slippy it was. Due to time constraints, we only went as far as the pool, which I think is about halfway through the actual gardens. They are massive. However, the pool area is stunning, and more than makes up for the 30 minutes or so that it takes to get there. Of course, everyone knows that the perfect answer to 30 minutes of exercise is a cocktail.
I'm having a pina colada and I'm caught in the rain.
You like pina coladas? You're getting caught in the rain.
Wow. After enjoying that and some more rain, we continue to explore the area before heading back up. For those that don't want to brave the steps on the way back up, or simply just aren't able, there is another option, and it's this vintage car. You can use this car to descend down to the pool and to return back to the top, but it is an upcharge, and I think if I remember it was about €5 per person per way.
Here we have the lesser known pink chicken.
After seemingly losing our minds on the way back up, we finally made it back to the top of the gardens before meeting up with the tour guide and then moving on to our next port of call. A very short walk from the gardens brings you to where the famous toboggans start from. The toboggan ride wasn't included in our full Monte experience. However, if you do want to do it, it's worth bearing in mind that when we were there was a 3-hour wait. So we did what anyone would have done and pretended to have a go.
So I can pretend I have fun.
Yeah. Right behind where the toboggans start from was our next stop on the tour. This was the Church of Our Lady of Monte. Unfortunately, due to the late starting of our trip, we only had a very limited amount of time here, so we opted not to tackle those stairs and instead to look on from afar. After another short walk, we jumped back on the bus to head for the main event, the one thing that we actually wanted to do on this whole trip. And on the way, we got even more fantastic views of the ship. There really is something special about seeing your ship in port from afar. I don't know what it is, but do you agree? Let us know in the comments below. After another short walk, this time through the beautiful centre of Funchal, we arrived at Blandy's wine lodge for our Madeira wine tasting session. David ringing that bell signified it was wine time. Inside the lodge, we were handed 2 very small glasses of Madeira wine. I'm not too sure what we were expecting, but it was certainly more than this.
Which do you prefer?
I actually prefer the sweet one.
Yes.
So these are 5 years old apparently. So I'll try the dry first. Oh, it burns. No. Not for me. Do you want mine? I tried it.
And that was the wine tasting experience. We were in the lodge for no more than 10 minutes, which ended with me having to down my now 4 thimbles of wine before heading back to the bus and then back to the ship.
And we're back on board!
Oh, we're so tired. So that was only half day, wasn't it?
I think it was like, so we set off about 1 o'clock? 1:30. And we got back on board about 7:30, so a good 6 hours.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and there was a lot of walking to do. It was like beautiful scenery and everything, but it was a lot of walking. So if you see the full Monte extravaganza, as it was named, if you're ever on Virgin and going to Funchal, I wouldn't say it's the most accessible tours.
Virgin and then probably a lot of cruise lines rate their excursions based on like the scale of strenuousness.
Yes. How strenuous they are.
This one was rated a 2 out of 5.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I would say it was not a 2.
No.
If you have accessibility issues, so not just the ability to
walking, but
Yeah.
visually, if you have any visual impairments,
So
there's a lot of stairs involved. I
yeah,
think.
so you may have seen some friends in the video. Shelley is one of those friends. So Shelley, if you're watching, hi. Shelley, I don't think one mind me saying, is visually impaired. And she struggled with some of the stuff. So I was holding her arm at some points. At some point, she said she just needed to watch where our feet were going. But the amount of steps and steep
Was a lot.
inclines, and what didn't help is it was raining.
Yeah, so the floor was very slippery.
Yes.
Future editing Mark here. I just wanted to say that Virgin Voyages have since updated this excursion on their Sure Things website. It's now listed as a energy level 3 and shows as not accessible.
And then the wine tasting at the end of it
Wasn't wine tasting.
wasn't wine tasting. I would say it was wine sampling.
So maybe we had got the wrong impression of what this was going to be, but I thought it was going to be more about the wine than it was.
Yes.
Basically, the tour ended with us arriving at a wine merchant?
Wine lodge, it was
Wine
called.
lodge. And we were handed 2 glasses of
Tiny
small
amounts.
glasses of wine,
Madeira wine.
and then that was it.
And then because the tour started slightly later than it should have, it was basically a case of downing them and getting back on the coach. I didn't particularly like mine, as you may have seen from my reaction. So this one here, drank it. But all in all, I would say Funchal is a beautiful place to go. If you get the chance to visit, I definitely would. Would you do this excursion again? I wouldn't. You can do all the stuff that we did in your own time. I suppose the only benefit you've got of it being through Virgin is the boat won't leave without you. If it's an official excursion, or as they call it, Shoal thing on Virgin, they won't leave without you. So that's a benefit, because otherwise we would have had some squeaky bum time, I think.
It
Getting
was touch
late.
and go getting back.
It was a bit touch and go getting back. But we're back now, and we're on board, and we're going to go do some bingo with the diva.
Stay awake.
So yeah, bingo with the diva is something that they do on board. The diva is the resident drag queen. So we're going to go do that. Hopefully some hilarity and maybe some winnings.
I never win bingo, David.
No, but we might. Our luck might change. Who knows? But we hope you've enjoyed following us along. What should people do if they have?
They should like this video, and they should subscribe to our channel,
Yes.
and they should comment if they've ever been to Funchal before.
Yes, and also notification bell, and then you get
Yes.
notified of any other videos that are coming up as well. So thank you very much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.